Hey guys, this is Kevin Ginn with Western Hunter Magazine, here today to talk to you a little about a new tent I just had the privilege of trying out. It's by a company called WhiteDuck. It's the Regatta 360. This is their most recent tent, I believe. To be honest, I'm not like super familiar with the WhiteDuck line, and when I first heard about the tent, got it, I was pretty blown away. Just the quality of the canvas and everything. I think there's a lot of great tents out there. I mean, wall tents are no, mystery in the hunting world. Everyone's got something they really like. Kodiak canvas. I've got one of those. Had it for a few years. Been super impressed by it. Had a lot of great tents. This tent in particular was really attractive to me. Being here in Arizona, it's pretty hot, and especially this season we're having right now. We've had a quite a heat spell going on for a while. And this last weekend, a few of us from the office here, we were up in the White Mountains on a bear hunt, and it wasn't like scorching. We were at 7,500 feet, but the days were still getting up to like 80, 85 degrees, and it's just pretty intense weather. This Regatta 360, what's really unique about it is the entire circumference of it. So it's a bell-shaped tent. The entire circumference of it is lined with mesh. So you can lift up all of the canvas layers and panels and basically get this really cool 360 view, which just allows for an incredible amount of ventilation. And when you're hunting in warm weather and there's a breeze, I mean, it just really makes it pleasant, especially in the evening. And it was actually kind of the perfect weather to test this thing in, because it was super windy, and that was kind of a concern for me. One of the really cool things that they're doing, which I haven't seen in other tents before, is they call it a proprietary shock absorbing system, grounding system, which really is just all the points in which you stake out to the ground are this really high gauge bungee material essentially. So when you get big sways of wind, it's not just pulling on a hard piece of canvas, which basically leaves all of that force on the tent. It kind of gives a little bit, which allows the tent to sway a bit, but hold its shape, doesn't pull up any stakes. Once we set it up, guided out and everything, we didn't have to adjust a single thing all weekend. And there was some days where it was like super windy. So I was pretty impressed with that. One thing I would say about this tent for sure is it's absolutely a base camp style tent. I think in total, the tent alone, it comes with these really nice galvanized steel poles. It comes with all the stakes. It comes with a mallet, so it's really got everything you need. But the whole thing is 68 pounds, and it's quite big. I mean, it's about this big. The bag itself, the carrying bag, it's a pretty robust setup. That being said, one thing I really appreciated about it was the bag had plenty of room for everything. So it wasn't like, one of those really big, tents that trying to get back into the factory bag was just a pain in the ass. That didn't happen at all. It was really nice and easy to get it in and out of that thing. One of the other utility or accessories that I ran with this tent, which doesn't come with the Regatta 360, was their awning. Their awning you can run with any of their bell tents. You can actually run this thing standalone too. It comes with 3 galvanized steel poles, so you could even just set this up as like a shelter if you wanted to just sleep on the ground underneath it, or if you just wanted to create shade and camp somewhere. It's designed, and how we used it was to pitch just over the front of the tent. It was incredibly easy to set up. The thing I really liked about it is you have a lot of options with how you set it up. You could either, what we did was just kind of put all 3 poles out in the front, so you just had this flat, basically overhang, this patio of sorts. But if you got a lot of rain and you want to kind of shuck some of that rain off, you could build like an A-frame style. And it was really pretty large. I mean, surface area wise, it created a ton of great shade for us to keep our coolers in and just kind of sit underneath to keep out of the sun. That was a really sweet deal. I mean, I think it by itself is about $280, and when I first saw the price tag, I was like, wow, they're pretty proud of that thing. But once I got it and set it up, it is incredibly high quality. Like that canvas is very, very well made. So it's made out of the same canvas as the tent is, and they call it this Dynaduct treatment they put on it. So it's incredibly water repellent, UV repellent, and mold resistant. It has a lot of breathability as well, but when you feel it, it feels like a very high quality, nice weight canvas. I think it's 8.5 ounce cotton canvas. So it's, from that, perspective, it's worth it. You're not buying cheap material here. The whole tent and this thing just felt, premium. I think the tent itself, the Regatta 360, goes for $890. And it's a pretty steep price tag for a lot of folks, but when you spend a lot of nights in a base camp, you don't want to have something that's falling apart on you. And I think WhiteDuck has really put a lot of thought into the engineering of this thing. I would say one thing to be aware of, it comes with and requires a lot of stakes. That is what took the most time. However, the stakes they give you are sturdy. I mean, they're like hardy stakes, and once you get them in, I mean, they're about yay long, thick gauge, all that stuff. Once you get them in, like, that tent is not going anywhere. And that is what took probably the most time as setting it up. Ryan and I set this thing up, and they say that it should take one person 10 minutes. And I believe it if it's your second or third time doing it. We took our time setting this thing up. We had plenty of time, so we read the directions, and it took us close to 30 minutes, the two of us, but that was just because it was our first time. We were making sure we were setting it up and orienting it in the right way. But really, it's not a difficult tent to set up at all. It's just, pounding in as many stakes as it takes is a little time consuming thing. So we were, I couldn't tell you how many times him and I both said, like, it was just really nice tent to sleep in at night because there was nice airflow throughout the trip. As far as the footprint goes, they say camping style, you should be able to sleep 6 people in it. And if you're glamping, which, I know we don't really do, you should fit 3. I would say it's comfortable, and when you're guys using cots like we were, 3 would be comfortable in there with your gear. There was 2 of us in there with cots, and Ryan actually had like this extra large California King cot, and we had just tons of room. The nice part about it, which I know a lot of people think about, is, can I stand on this thing? Absolutely. So I'm 6'1". I could come in and out of the front door with ease. And then once I was inside that bell-shaped tent, like, I could walk around, with ease. There was no, it didn't feel claustrophobic at all. It came with some really nice, utility pockets inside, so you can put like your keys, batteries, whatever you want to put in there. The ground is a really nice PE sewn in floor, so even if you're going to get a lot of rain or whatever, it's just highly durable flooring in there. And the whole thing was just incredibly easy. Like, rolling up all of the canvas around it to expose the mesh was super easy. They've got these nice little stays that everything sews right into. And actually, we were just talking to a guy here downstairs, and he was asking me, like, would it be good for cold weather? I think it'd be great. You just don't roll up the windows, and you just keep the canvas all the way down. And I think that is, I haven't ran it yet in a cold weather scenario, but I can't see why it would not be a good setup. I know WhiteDuck makes one. It was previous to this. It wasn't the Regatta 360. It was just their bell tent, and that came with a stove jack in it. So if you're someone who's camping, in the winter, and you've got a lot of snow and ice and cold weather you're facing, then that might be the better option. But, for us here in the Southwest, certain breathability and airflow is definitely important. So, yeah, I can't say enough great things about this tent. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's heavy and it's big. Like, it's considerably larger than like my Kodiak canvas tent. I think I've got a Kodiak 10x14 Deluxe. That thing is a really nice compact size. However, I think the features I'm getting out of this WhiteDuck, it's worth the space just in your vehicle and the way it transports. So I'm super excited to use this tent more and more. I think we have a big group trip coming up here in a few weeks, and I think a few of us will probably spend the night in there. So yeah, I think it's definitely one that everyone should check out. WhiteDuck's been around for quite a while. They make some great canvas material items. I mean, from pants to, if it's made out of canvas, they make it, and they make it well. But I don't know if it's as popular in the hunting world. So absolutely take a look at it, and hopefully it works out for you guys. If this tent interests you, if hunting gear, camping gear, anything surrounding like Western hunting interests you, I highly suggest you sign up for our email, subscribe to the Western Hunter magazine, and our YouTube channel. We're putting a lot of energy into finding the popular pieces of gear, the stuff that not everybody knows about and more people need to check out. We're gonna try to review as much relevant stuff as we can on our YouTube channel, so please hit subscribe. And we're always interested in what you guys think as far as, hey, you know, we'd love to see what you guys think about this, and I'm kind of between these two pieces of gear, packs, whatever. Shoot us a message. We'd love to get feedback on how we're doing and what we're talking about. That's the only way we're relevant, is if it's important to you guys. So yeah, westernhunter.net is our website, and YouTube, Instagram, I think is just at Western Hunter Magazine. So check us out.